what's up? Yeah, so we're live, good to go. I think we're having a little bit of microphone issues. I'm not positive. My audio system was acting a little bit weird, and I'm trying to resolve that. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Please let me know if it's being all dookie. Yeah. So we can do this. We can move that. Sorry, we'll do that. Trying to close out some windows and get set up. So for today's stream, I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about actually getting started in this hobby, like actual realistic expectations. Everybody kind of just tells you and throws it at you like, hey, just start printing, you know, how hard can it be? Well, what do you actually have to like look forward to? What are the costs? What are the, long-term costs? Because yeah, the printer might cost an X amount of dollars, which is fine. And that's, easy to, that's just easy to throw around. This printer costs, $300, $200, but like, how much does filament cost? How much does paint cost? What are you going to be printing? What are the pitfalls and struggles that you're going to actually run into when you're kind of, dealing with this? How's that? I dropped my gain a little bit. Let's drop it down to like 10 decibels. There we go. Maybe that's better. So working on the new mic system. Apparently, you need to charge things with batteries. I didn't know that because both my wireless receivers, I just didn't feel like charging them. I thought they'd last more than one stream, but yeah, we'll work on that. So sorry. So I'm actually hardwired into my computer right now, but I have a good amount of good slack. We'll manage. We'll figure it out. Better? Okay, yeah, I dropped it down to -10. My gates and my thresholds are still working on it. This makes my voice sound different, and I don't like it. It makes my voice sound a little pitchier, I think. So I gotta edit it. I know what my voice sounds like, and when I watched the other live stream with this, I didn't like it. Like, not a lot of people know what they actually sound like because not everybody does this type of stuff. So yeah, I think I have a one-up. I joined the 3D revolution thanks to your videos. Bought myself a CR10S Pro. I've had it about 3 weeks and haven't even managed to put a layer down yet. The thing just doesn't work. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah. My printer, I think it's my computer itself. Now I could probably run off the microphone on the camera. I think that would be even worse. So if it's like really unbearable, we'll manage and play around with this. Yeah. It seems like I have 2 audio inputs, and maybe that's what's going on here. Yeah, that's the microphone. We can do timestamps, which I don't want to do. Yeah, all I can mess with. OBS is good in some areas. Others, advanced audio properties. Join the Discord, we'll get you sorted. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's my left and right balance. So that's my negative, that's my audio. All right, if I'm gonna have to go with the majority and say, yeah, apparently everybody's okay. So yeah, all right, so where to begin? First off, before anything, I want to say, hold on, let me maximize the chat so I can actually like read what the hell you guys are saying. Cool. Awesome. This is the last day to enter the contest for my Mark 6 battle damaged helmet. It's going a little bit slower than I wanted, having some difficulties. It's coming out good, but I just haven't had time to finish it yet. The winner will get the helmet, but it won't be fully ready to display during the live stream tomorrow when I reveal the winner. So go join that. There's entry rules on Instagram. There's entry rules on one of my YouTube videos. You'll see the picture of the helmet. It says free. Go find it and join that. This will be pretty nice when it's done. I've cleaned it up a lot. The paint's coming out much nicer than last time. It actually looks like metallic. So go join that. Enter for your chance to win. Haha. All right, let's see. We'll hit some questions real quick, but it looks like everybody, yeah, the PC Wizard, there's a contest. You should join it. You get to win a helmet. I think this is the smallest contest I've run actually, because of things that are going on in the States and in the world now. Reception for it was a little bit lower, which I like, because it means if you've entered this contest, it's because you've probably already been following me, and this is a very special helmet to me. So it'd be nicer if it was more based in my actual direct fan group, not people just garnering for the helmet. So this is probably going to go to somebody who's really been following me for a while, which means a lot more to me. It was my first helmet. It was my first battle damaged helmet, and you're going to like it, whoever gets it. Maybe you're in the chat, who knows. So yeah, getting started is tough, but once you start going, it's much better. Yeah, we've got some mods in the chat to kind of keep things tame, but I don't think we ever really had any. I think we had one spammer. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we had one spammer one time, and he was quickly dealt with. So yeah, I have LED lights now. I've improving my lighting. Isn't that fun? This is just good, you know. Yeah, I keep forgetting. I get the chats live. There's such a delay through OBS, through YouTube, and to you guys. Like, you're a good couple seconds behind me, but that's fine. So where to start? Okay, let's play. Let's imagine you're one of X amount of people who might have just stumbled upon. You like Iron Man, you like Marvel, you like whatever the hell. You're like, I want to cosplay. I don't know where to start. No Coke? No, hey, that's Coke Zero. That's the healthiest Coca-Cola there is. I went in too deep and purchased my CR10S, didn't have a clue. And now to start 6 months in, my Mark 85 is nearly fully printed. I've had to learn as I've gone. That's how I had to learn, man. Yeah. It's fun. Oh, I'm going to be selling plenty more helmets. Don't you worry. I got to pay for this somehow. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the chat for a little bit. So if you're posting questions, I'm probably not going to answer them, and then they'll get washed away. So hold your questions till later. I will let you know when to start posting questions. You saw something online, you're scrolling, and you're like, I don't know, you saw somebody had something like this, and you're like, I want to make that. Like, you're like, how the F, like, what do you do? So you start looking into it, you see a hashtag somewhere in one of my posts, and you're like, 3D printing? What the F is that? Like, how do I even start doing that? This looks great, and I will gloat about this because this is one of my favorite helmets, and it does look pretty great. So I will say that out loud. So you see it and you're like, damn, I want that thing. And you start looking at 3D printing and you get slammed with just printer after printer, and you get hit with Creality and Artillery and Prussia and MakerBot and FlashForge, and you just get overwhelmed. Like a Google search for 3D printing, oh boy, that is going to, it's good. It's going to overwhelm you fast because there are so many, I don't want to say conflicting stories, but just there's so many products. It's like trying to buy a car, really. It's like, well, what do I do? So you really, the first thing, period, before you start looking at makes and models and mileage and gas mileage, you know, you want to start thinking about what do you want to print and how much experience do you have. I think before you go into a hobby like this, you should have some very, not everybody does, so it's hard to say, but you should have, it helps if you have a little bit of a mechanical inclination and a little bit of a computer, you know, you understand how to download programs and manipulate software a little bit. Now, sorry, so stop in the chat. So, yeah, you're gonna need to kind of you're gonna want to have like you're gonna want to be ready for that. This isn't a plug and play hobby. This isn't buy printer, plug in, put it on your desk, and then out comes a little Mjolnir Stormbreaker hammer. You know, like that's not unfortunately how it works. I wish it did. I thought it kind of did. I did not do the research I should have. When I saw my Mark 85, when I saw the Mark 85 on Instagram, or you know, I started searching it. How do I make this? I saw EVA foam and all that crap. And then when I saw 3D printing, I searched best 3D printer for cosplay, and what came up was the Artillery X1 and this Creality CR10S. And just something about the reviews on the CR10S just drew me to it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Bought it. I didn't watch a single friggin' video on any of it. I didn't watch anything on it. I didn't look up like, hey, is this hobby easy to learn? You know, I'm like, I know computers. I can software. You know,
And I'm like, I can build shit. I've been building shit for years. Like, how hard could this be? And so, oh, sorry. Anything weird going on in the chat now? You guys all right? Where's the Mark 85? Oh my God, it's gone. Yeah. Just reading the chat. Cool. Hi. Anyway, yeah, so I got overwhelmed. I dove into the hobby, and I thought the printer was gonna be much easier to operate than it was. I think I turned it on, built it, and I think I just kind of hit go on the SD card. You know, it was the little dog. I wish I still had that thing. I think I threw it out. But I hit go. It came out like spaghetti. Like the nozzle was like this far from the bed. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I started to kind of go look into it and learned how to level a bed. Oh, okay, this makes sense. The nozzle needs to be this far to the bed. Blah blah blah. Blah. Okay. So there is more into the hobby than you might realize, and that's fair, you know, but I'd rather you guys be prepared for that and realize that, oh, this isn't as easy, and I don't want to scare everybody away, but unfortunately I kind of need to scare a few people away. Not in a way like gatekeeping, like this, you're not good enough for this hobby, but just some people aren't prepared for it and they get frustrated, and it isn't for them, you know. Not everybody's a brain surgeon or, you know, a heart doctor. Not everybody, you know, is a race car driver. Not everybody's gonna like 3D printing. They might realize like, I kind of hate this hobby. This is annoying. I'd rather just let somebody else print it and I'll finish it. Adam Savage, I'll talk about him. He doesn't 3D print. He buys his 3D prints from other people when he makes replicas. His Star-Lord helmet was 3D printed. The boosters, the gun, all of it. He just got it from somebody else and then he finished it, which is fine. It's where do you want to put your money? You know, you're paying for a service, of course. So you want to get into the hobby. What do you want to print though? That's like, it's a shitty it's a shitty decision real quick, unfortunately. What do you want to print? And you might say everything, you know. I wanted to print everything. I got into this hobby to print, you know, an Iron Man armor. Here's the Mark 85. I got into it to print a whole armor, and I was looking for a big printer right off the bat. Would I recommend you do that? No. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. Please don't do what I did. So, yeah, you got to figure out what do you want to make, what do you want to start printing. And it doesn't need to be cosplay. It doesn't need to be anything to do with cosplay or nerd shit. You could have found me because you're like, oh, I want to make things for my house. Brackets, car parts, medical equipment. It doesn't matter why you're here. You can do anything with this hobby. So you determine, all right, I want to print tiny shit. I want to print little trinkets and, you know, little collectibles. You want to, maybe the biggest thing you want to make is like an Iron Man glove. You want to make like a gauntlet that just sits on your desk and you know, it's just for display. You're looking at like maybe a $200 or $300 printer. Now, I wish I had set this all up a different way, and I realized I could have done it 10 minutes before the stream started for another time. This is the bed of an Ender 3. That's it. Now, basically cube this. Make this a box. This is, what, 220 by 220 by 240, I think an Ender is. So basically a perfect cube is what could fit on an Ender 3. And you can get these for about $180, anywhere to $230. If you get the Pro version, if you get it on sale, if you, whatever the hell, you know, you want to get into. And this can fit a lot, actually. Now, can it fit a whole forearm to an Iron Man suit? You're going to be pushing it, but if you get kind of creative with your angling, you can actually fit some pretty big stuff on here. Now, that's kind of maxing out the printer. But something like an Ender 3, what, an Annette A8 Plus, I think that is the better non-fire hazard version. If somebody wants to, if somebody 235 by 235 by 250, are you sure? I thought that was the programmable, upgradable version of that. Like you could actually print that size, but the parameters in the main board only have it to 220. Let me somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so the Pro has the magnetic bed. This I added to my normal Pro. The Pro I think has a little bit of a beefier rail, has a magnetic bed, has the power supply is a little different, so it doesn't have the shitty fan that filament just falls into. And I think that's it. I don't think the Pro is much better, but I think it's worth the extra couple bucks. So yeah, you can fit a lot on this, and people have printed whole suits with this. I saw a guy print a whole Stormbreaker. Obviously, you can't fit the whole thing on the bed. That's cool. You're gonna have to cut it up into pieces and parts, and you can do that. If you plan on printing big stuff, maybe the Ender 3 isn't for you. You want to start off a little bit bigger, but know when you start moving up the spectrum of printers, you start complicating things a little bit more because there are bigger parts Leveling an Ender 3 bed is a joke. And if you're having trouble with it, something's wrong with your printer. This is like the easiest printer in the friggin' world to level, even with its single Z-axis rod. You can move up to something like, here we'll do a little size comparison. This is a CR10S, or a CR10. All the beds are about the same, or are the same. I think the S goes up to 400, right? Yeah, so obviously much bigger. 220 moved all the way over to 300 by 300, and then the S is up to 400. So it's taller than this is wide. So right off the bat, that's going to give you a lot more options for printing something big. You can easily, which helmet do I not want to risk breaking? We'll do this one. This one's kind of heavy. You can print a whole helmet on a CR10S. I don't know why you would ever print a helmet like this, especially with the faceplate, but this is a full-size Iron Man helmet. Cool. And it fits pretty comfortably on a CR10S. Like, let's see if I can maneuver this. There we go. There we go. It fits. Trust me, it fits. So you have something like a CR10S. Automatically, you would start printing some pretty big shit, which is awesome. Because if you got into it to print big stuff, this is it. Now the CR10S, this bed is dirty. It has glue and sticky stuff all over it, but ask me if I have adhesion problems. The 10S is 300 by 300 by 400, but is the normal 10 any different? Is the normal 10 a little shorter, or, because I've never dabbled with the 10, every forum I've ever seen was just like, forget the 10, get a 10S, dual Z-axis, blah, blah, blah. I think they're all the same though. The 10, the 10S, the V2, and the Pro are 300 by 300 by 400. This is 300 by 300. Then you move up to the CR10S4, which is 400 by 400 by 400. And then the S5 is 500 by 500. You get it, okay? So a much bigger printer for a pretty good price point, I'd say. The CR10S's, since they're starting to get a little bit dated, you can grab them for about $400 now, with still this type of build size. Pretty good, and I think that's about the same price as an Artillery X1. Okay, the second zoo. All right, yeah, thank you, Astaroth. Appreciate that. I want to test print my first helmet, which is Iron Man helmet in the Discord. Should I test print with? Which Iron Man helmet in the Discord should I object to see how long it takes and the quality, testing the limits of my E16. Okay, all right, yeah. We'll get back to that. We'll hit up some questions. We're making good time. I like this. I like this. So you move into a little bit of a bigger print bed, okay? This, I think, is the best of both worlds. I've been able to get some obscene quality out of my CR10Ss, even with my upgraded nozzle, and that's great. But I've also been able to print. What I want to grab? We can grab this big old boy. Why not? Because it just looks great on camera. I've been able to print this whole thing, obviously in sections, on my CR10S. And it's part of the armor. And it looks nice, it fits nice. And I'm just going to sit here and wear this the rest of the stream and just not move, That's it. Hope you guys can still hear me, actually. Cool. So, you can print big things, and this would be the same instance as, say, the Ender 3, where even though you can't print the entire thing in one whole section, you cut it up into parts, okay? You cut it up into smaller sections, you fuse it, you glue it together. This was printed, I'm holding basically 8 pieces right here. The whole chest part was cut vertically, then horizontally. The abs were cut vertically, horizontally, and then I also had a print failure up here, so technically I guess it's 9 pieces. But it's no biggie at all. There really isn't a printer out there that could print this in all one part. My Max is pretty big, but it's not that big. So you really, and as you go up, there used to be an old adage for cars, and I don't know how much it applies anymore. $1 per horsepower. When you're trying to look at like horsepower gains, and when you start spending money on cars, it was like $100 per horsepower. It was some weird idiom like that, where in order to get results, you're gonna have to spend money. And I think 3D printing is still one of those things where your money talks still. You can get really cheap, crappy printers, $100, $200, but there's gonna be a limiting factor. Do you want size, quality? It's a triangle, right? Size, quality, cheap, affordable. pick two. And that really applies to printing. You want size and quality, it's not going to be cheap. You want size and cheap, it's not going to be quality. You want you want cheap and quality, it ain't going to be that big. You can get some beautiful prints out of an Ender 3, but it's small, okay? And I've had a few people come back at me saying, oh, it's fine. I printed a whole suit on an Ender 3. It only took me a year. Where do you want to spend your time? Is your time worth your money? You don't care? You have all the time in the world, and you can print, you can print this whole shin section in 20 pieces and fuse it together and sand out all your seam lines and make sure it fits snug and beautifully. If you're okay with taking that much time to do something like that, that's totally on you. Or would you rather spend a little bit more money up front, get a bigger printer that's able to do this in 2 shots where you just glue it together and that's it, and it's done, and you only have 1 seam line to worry about as opposed to 40, So you need to kind of balance that and outweigh your options. Now, you can get really crazy. I actually printed a whole helmet on an Ender 2 in 20 pieces. Yep. This was lesson number 1 to me. This was my first Iron Man helmet. And let's see. The jaw was 1 piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was 7 parts. It was sliced up for an Ender 3, but I had a CR10S. I wasn't taking advantage of my print size. I was like, oh, I'll print it in small pieces, fuse it together, slather it with Bondo, and call it a day. That was a terrible idea. Then I printed my actual first helmet, which is actually that camouflage helmet up there. Up there, right there. Yeah, cool. That was actually my first full-size helmet I printed, and it was printed the same way as my other helmets: the main dome, the jaw, and the faceplate. So then I was actually able to capitalize on the size of my printer. My prints got better. Less work, less issue. He doesn't sit in the suit. I want mobility and chest design. How do you plan to sit down in the suit? PC Wizard, I can't sit in that suit. This is, hold on. This is the cod piece. This is the underwear, if you will. I'm not sitting in this. Sitting was never an option. I should get a shirt made that says that. Sitting was never an option. The engineering triangle of 3D printing. Never doing that again. When is the giveaway winner announced for the battle scar damage? That's tomorrow. Okay, so where in the scale of the CR10S Pro? I feel like it's fairly expensive, but I'm still not seeing the quality. I guess it's large though. So the CR10S Pro has some features. So now that's when you start to have to do some research on features. Now you're going to go and see something. Now the Ender 3, Ender 3 Pro, they're cheaper. They're 200 to 200. You'll never leave if you join now. They're like $200 to $230. You start moving up to something like a CR10S, something a little bit bigger, right? And some of them are going to be very bare bones. A normal CR10 has really nothing. It's just a 3D printer. It doesn't have any assisted leveling. It doesn't have any, metal extruders or better bed springs. It has a glass bed. So you need to start doing some research and watching videos on what are some upgrades that might benefit you. What's going to make it easier? Now, a normal CR10S has, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, it's called an inductive leveling sensor, I believe, and then the new BL Touches are actually a physical spring. But, yeah, Rebel, I should do that. Do you want assisted leveling? Now, I will never upgrade any of my printers to assisted leveling because I'm comfortable leveling my bed. Now, some people don't want to be bothered leveling their bed. Gotta be honest, I would never have been able to level my CR10 Max without my BL Touch already installed. So you start looking at bigger printers because you want to print really big shit quick. That's the CR10 Max bed. And just to give you some reference, that's the CR10S bed, okay? A little bit bigger. For even better reference, that's the Ender 3 bed. So this is a $200 printer versus a $1,000 printer. And quality-wise, they're the same. Now, when you start getting into a bed this big, leveling is going to be a huge problem. That's a lot of bed to level. And God forbid I ever bend this damn thing. I'll be very sad. It's actually also not easy to bend or flex. So this is what something like $1,000 printer looks like. But you can get a printer that is this size for, what is a S5 around? 700, 750 bucks? So what's the difference between this, which is just a little bit smaller than that $700 printer, versus the $1,000 printer? It's the features. It's the upgrades. It has a better power supply for better heating. It actually has 2 power supplies in it, which is freaking awesome. It has assisted leveling. So it goes down and it actually measures the level of the bed as it gets ready to print. So it actually helps compensate if your bed isn't perfectly level. Now you're going to want to get it as close as possible, but this also just really helps the print come out. It has stronger extruder gears. It has a stronger brace in a frame. So you're paying for all these upgrades and you're changing your price point. Now if you were to go and get a CR10S, an S5, they're a little notorious for being very hard to level. Get a BL Touch, get assisted leveling, and that'll help you level the bed. But then you just spend money. It's no longer your $750 printer. It's now your $800 printer, okay? Well, your bed is also a pain in the ass to heat up because it's such a big bed. Well, you want to upgrade either your power supply or you're going to upgrade the actual the thermal mat under your bed. You're spending more money on the printer. You're upgrading it. So what is worth it to you? Getting the cheaper printer and slowly upgrading it, or just opting for the printer that's pretty much already upgraded? And that's what the Pro is. A CR10 Max, I don't know why they called it a CR10 Max. They could have just called it like an S5 Pro and made it a little bit bigger. It would have been a little bit cooler, I think it was called that. It's the Max, but it's not even their biggest printer. So that was a weird choice of theirs. But hey, if you've been following Creality for any length of time, you'll know that they're kind of weird. So. Good water and stuff. Yes, a more stable a more stable bed. It heats up better. They have these nice aluminum rails, and it's a cool printer. Yes, so a CR10 S4 S5 is literally just a CR10S or CR10 bigger. They just made the bed bigger. They didn't put in any of the electronics to help compensate for that. Yeah, Creality firmware sucks. Upgrade it. TH3D, Tiny Machines. They did not put enough R&D into their firmware. That's fair. I will have no problem agreeing with that. So you get the printer. You decided this is gonna run a little bit over that half hour. I want to talk about this because there's a lot to talk about, and this will go as long as we freaking want. So you're like, okay, I know what I want to get. You settled. You're following me for cosplay probably, so you're probably wanting to make something like props and replicas. Now. You figured out you want a CR10S, okay? Or a V2, or a V2 Pro, or a Pro, but this is the print size you want, okay? Well, that's your printer. You have your printer ordered, it's on the way. You learned it, you figured it out, but what else is there? Well, filament and, product placement. You're gonna need some filament. And this stuff can be really cheap, this stuff can be really expensive. And unfortunately, the time and world we live in currently, it's a little bit more expensive right now because plastics in such demand for printing PPE and all that stuff. DJAN, I don't think the auto bed leveling works. My auto bed level on the Max works absolutely great. Yeah, cool. So you're gonna need filament. Now, a roll of filament right now of normal PLA, I don't know, you can still have it for, I'd say average 15 bucks. You can get them for real cheap for like $12, but then there's some companies that charge a little bit more of a premium, and so I think 15 is a good round number right now. Hopefully that price drops back down. And what can you get out of one roll of filament? If you're new to the hobby and you're not really experienced, you're gonna go through filament kind of quick, and you're gonna have a lot of waste. Once you start getting more and more understanding of print placement and arranging and actual how to deal with your supports, you can get 2 helmets in one roll of filament, whereas before you were barely getting 1 helmet out of 1 roll, and you can get 2 helmets just fine. Now again, these are Iron Man helmets. There are other types of helmets. There's Mandalorian helmets. There's other types of Star Wars helmets. There's Batman, DC. There's tons. So these are pretty thin, thin structured helmets. There's not much going on. They print in a couple parts, and they're very easy to arrange. But you're gonna have to look at, well, I'm gonna need filament too, right? So that's not too bad at all. But then you want to start, like I said, printing bigger stuff. And this can burn through filament quick. Stormbreaker here was about 2 rolls of plastic. About 2 rolls of filament. I was able to make it, and it came out pretty good. didn't actually need a lot of supports for this, which was really fun. And I like just staring at it and having it there. So there's other costs that go with it. Electricity, a lot of people have asked me that. How's your electricity? Oh my God, you're running 4 printers. Your electricity bill must be insane, right? No, not really. Last time I did the math, it uses like 9 cents an hour. All 4 of my printers running at the same time. I'm okay with that. And that's with their heated beds constantly going. Granted, I live in England. We have, there's 220 main instead of 120 main. So that does help the printer operate and power and heat up just a little bit quicker. But they don't use as much power as you'd think. They're I wouldn't say energy efficient, but they're not like these energy sucking machines. So
That said, point even more to the fact I've been sold a dud. I went from ABO thinking it would make things easier. You want to edit them? Sorry.
just catching up in the chat. You guys are blowing this up. Thank you. Keep talking. I like that you guys are interacting with each other. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So filament costs money. So you're going to need to kind of think about that. And there's tons of people who have probably printed what you're looking to print. I can tell you from personal experience, my my Mark 85 suit used about 14 rolls to print. Now, whatever filament you want to use, you know, just multiply it by like 14, 15. Now, if you're new to the hobby, you're going to go through some waste. You're going to go through some, you're going to go through a lot of supports. You might have a couple failed prints. I have to get them out one day, but in this closet, I have all of my rafts, all of my tree supports, all of my failed prints, every single bit of plastic that came off of my Mark 85, I have saved. I'm going to do a whole cost analysis at the end. I've saved every can of spray paint I've ever used. It's all in my garage, so the hobby does add up. Now, you can use it just for fun. You can use it just as a hobby, period, dot, or you can start turning it around and selling some of those things you're working on. Now, it really can quickly pay for the hobby, especially if you're making things that other people aren't. Now, you can get into the hobby purely for monetary gain, that's fine. But you just need to know that, you know, if you can buy a 3D printer, other people can probably buy a 3D printer too and do the same thing. So you need to kind of stay, you kind of need to stay ahead of the curve, and it's difficult. There are already other people making battle damaged Mark 85s suddenly after I started making them. And some of them have messaged me asking for help, and some of them haven't. So, and I haven't coined that. That by no means I have a trademark or copyright on the damn thing, but they just know that anybody can go and replicate that thing. So you really need to, you know, figure out where you want to fall into that corner of the hobby, which is totally fine. And there's just a lot of extra costs that kind of start adding up very quickly, and you kind of need to be a little bit prepared for that. Maintenance costs, these printers aren't that expensive to maintain. I think really, unlike my CR10 or my Ender, the most expensive thing that can break is probably the main board, and that's only like 40 or 50 bucks to replace. Bar that, your power supply could go, they're like 20. Worst case scenario is what happened with my Ender, unfortunately, because I'm an idiot and I plugged it into the wrong socket. It could fry a couple things. The power supply took out a couple things. Shouldn't do that. It did it. But maintenance isn't that hard, and they're pretty easy to work on. There's such an amazing community for 3D printers. Artillery has a good community. Prusa has an amazing community. Oh my God. Creality's community is pretty good too. I think most of the people on the Discord are running Creality printers with a mix of like Annette's and some Artilleries, which is cool and all. But get out there, ask people. Most people in the 3D printing community are pretty friendly. I like to think everybody in my Discord is pretty friendly. Yeah, I like most of you, except that Astaroth guy. He's kind of a jerk. Yeah. So ask. Hey, you know, your CR10S. What have you had to replace on it? Hey man, your Max, your S5, your X1. You know, like what's broken? What's gone wrong? And as we're seeing in the chat right now, some people get duds. That happens. I've had plenty of people get a printer that just drove them mad because some things just didn't work right, you know? It happens. These things are assembled in mass production in other countries, and, you know, quality control isn't always the thing. And you might get a dud printer. Try to send it back, get another one. Maybe that's, you know, or maybe it's a sign, you know, maybe I went with Artillery, and then after setting it up, after a day, my Z-stop broke, and then I had to wait 3 or 4 weeks or months for a new Z-stop to get delivered to Australia. Yeah, I'm talking. That was very specific, wasn't it? So, yeah, there's a lot in it. The community's great. The best advice I can give you if you want to get into this hobby, join a friggin' Facebook group. Like, it doesn't need to be my Discord. Like, go on Facebook, type in 3D printing, and like join. There's a massive 90,000 member 3D printing group on Facebook. Join a group. There are brand, and then there are printer specific groups. I'm in an exclusively Creality 3D printing group. I'm in a CR10, CR10S, S4, S5 Max 3D printing group. I'm in an Ender 3 printing group. Like, you can get down to just the people who have that exact damn printer, and then post, hey, I'm new. Before you post, use the search feature, because that is the most annoying thing in the friggin' world. Search, because chances are if you had that question, somebody else has had that question too. Do research. There's tons of information out there. The only printers you're going to have problems finding information on are the brand new releases. The V2 is just starting to catch up with people getting similar issues and troubleshooting them. They're about to release the V3. The CR6 is coming out. You know, like, just know that if you're getting the brand new hot rod, there might be some troubleshooting issues. So just be prepared for that. And if you're wondering, you actually might be the first person with that problem. So just be cognizant of that, but maybe get one that's a little more tried and tested. I personally recommend the CR10S if you're looking to get into a cosplay, bigger prop building hobby. The Buster Sword that is right here missing a handle. Wait, where is it? Right there. See it? Yeah. The handle's being repainted. I found a new gold I liked. Anyway, that was printed on a CR10S. Only one part was printed on my Max, and that was that part right there. That was printed on my Max. Yeah, part 3. That's another section. That's a section. You can actually kind of see where I did my best in the seam lines. Don't hate. The lighting makes it. Shut up. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of like what you kind of have to expect to get started. Now, again, there's a lot to cover. Research, ask people. And most people in this chat, I recognize all your names, and you're all pretty like friendly people. So go research, ask. It's not as expensive as a hobby as people think. When I still tell people, oh, you have 3D printers? How much do those cost? I'm like, a couple hundred. Like, you know, it's not that bad. And it's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I give it 5-10 years, man. Like, there were tens of thousands of dollars worth of 3D printer even 10 years ago that still couldn't touch the quality of an Ender 3. Like, it just wasn't there yet. You know, the quality of the parts wasn't there yet. It was rough, but the technology is expanding. I think pretty soon, I'll give it some time. I think every household's going to have a 3D printer for one reason or another, especially when more filaments start becoming available. But I think we can move on from how to kind of get started 3D printing. I think we've beat that dead horse. Yeah, sell your Xbox, buy a printer. So we can hit some questions for a few minutes while I kind of move some things around because I made a mess. I'm gonna throw this out. This was actually trash. I don't want it. Half-size Mjolnir. Who needs that, you know? Do. Guys, look. My spray paint. They have it in stock. I bought this. I bought 3 cans of it. All they had was 3 cans, and I bought them all. Like, I'm happy. I can finish my suit now. I can finish it. Oh my God, there are a lot of questions. Jesus Christ. Can you print with a MacBook? Oh, sorry, real quick, software. I'm so sorry. Getting into the 3D printing hobby because, you know, you're gonna need some type of software. The software is free unless you want to pay for it. Yeah, the software's free. Ultimaker Cura, I think Prussia Slicer is free. There's a couple different programs. Creality has a slicer, and I know some people who use that. I don't know why they use that, but they use that. And yeah, the software for starting out is free. If you feel you're being limited by that software, there is more software, like Simplify 3D, you can purchase. But I wouldn't. You know, that's So what else? What do we got here, guys? We're gonna go through the chat a little bit. Ask questions in the printers Facebook group. Feel free to share in all your groups. Yes. The slicer version of Mac, actually printing it done. SD cards, Sarasbach. The main thing you have to invest in 3D printing is time. Yeah, you are correct. But once you invest that time, I want to highlight. Let's see. Can I like highlight comments? That'd be really cool. This is stupid. I can put you in timeout. That's fun. So yeah, once you invest the time to learn the hobby and start printing, the hobby starts kind of giving back to you a little bit, where like you can let your printers go instead of a few hours, a few days, and that kind of, you can just go, your printer's just sitting there potentially making you money, or potentially just printing out that project you want to start. You will buy more printers, you will make more stuff, it'll cost you hundreds. Okay, listen. I'm thinking of printing half part of a helmet that's supposed to take 6 days. It's supposed to take 6 days to print? Wow. On a V2? What helmet are you printing? Oh my god, man. Yeah, you definitely need to change your orientation. Same happened with ink printers. Way too expensive at first. This technology mass production. Exactly. Cell phones. Like, think about how cheap cell phones have gotten, and everything that's packed into something like this. That's obscene. Like, my god. Cura is very good. I like Cura. Yeah, the ink's expensive, right? Yeah. Is that what's happening right now? Are the printers getting cheap, but then the filament, the ink is going to start being expensive? There was one dude on a group. I wish I could find the post. It might be a legendary post at this point. Ew, this is crappy PLA. But he plugged his printer in and started printing, and then he was posting on the group that it wasn't working. Nothing was coming out. Nothing was happening. And after like, I think it was like 100 comments of people trying to help this dude, somebody finally had the brains to ask, well, did you load in some filament? And he's like, what's that? He thought that the filament and the plastic was in the printer, and it just came out. Like, it was just in the printer, period. And he just didn't need to, he didn't know you needed this. I always find that story funny.
Dude, Mike is giving a lot of feedback. I wonder if it's because it fell down. Everybody said it was good, Kayla. I mean to ask you, how are you trimming your pieces? Inside of the thighs. I tried using a Dremel with a sanding piece attached. Yeah, that's what I use. Have you changed the sensor on the CR10S Pro? I don't have it. Also, if you're starting in 3D printing, download the software for free. I use Cura and input the size of your bed looking. Yeah, that's Chris Robertson. That's a very good point. You can go download the program. It'll ask you what printer. Once you set it up, it'll ask you, hey, what printer are you using? And are you guys okay? Much better. I just took it out of my shirt. Maybe it was like rubbing. So it's sorry. We're good. Hopefully we're good. Sorry, I feel dumb for not charging my my mic. Yeah, you can preview all these prints. You can preview your print bed. You can drop in free files. You can see, oh, I can actually fit this part of Stormbreaker on my my new print bed, and you can do all that and kind of preview a lot of it before before you actually make any type of commitment to the hobby, which is just, I think, great. Do you have remote cameras for all your printers? I just bought more. So you guys probably remember Butterbot, right? And I'm breaking him as I do this. There's feedback when you pick up the phone. Okay, so we have Butterbot here. This is a Wise Cam, and I made a little holder for him, and now, he watches my prints. So, but since I just moved rooms, I actually bought 2 more. And I'm not going to decorate them. These are just going to be for my print room. And there's still the little Wise Cams, but they came with these cool little mounts, and I'm going to mount them on my my shelving system for my printers. And then I'll have one for the bottom 2 to watch, and then I'll have one for the top 2 to watch. So that I'm very excited about these. This was a $50 pack for 2 of them with the holders, cables, all of that. If you're in the US, they're called Wise Cams, WYZE. If you're in the UK, they're called Neos Smart Cams. And yeah, get them. They're awesome. What density do you use for your Iron Man suit? I use a 5 to 10% infill density. All right, we fixed the mic. Sorry, guys. I hate when I slice G-code and it says 3 hours, but actually, Bruno Ibanez, that means your printer software isn't calibrated proper. The E-steps in your printer software aren't calibrated to your actual printer. There's a way. Grabbing the cell phone. You know what? We're gonna do this then. We're going to put my phone in airplane mode. Kayla, if you're watching this, I can no longer message you to turn off the Wi-Fi coming out of that. Are we calling it ink now? We should call it ink now. Have you thought about making a Star Boost top half wearable yet? Yes and no. I'm kind of putting Star Boost on hold.
I just got here. Sorry if you were covered already. What's your main method of dealing with layer lines before painting? Sand them. Yep. I use my CR10S to print my mask. Oh, smack. It's a very funny, honest mistake. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to sneeze. I have like a sneeze building. Give it like 30 seconds. I'm going to make a weird face. And I'll probably blow out your microphones. I'm sorry. I believe we may get stronger plastics. Yeah, so I think the quality is going to start to go up, and then plastic and the type of things we print with are going to, that's actually going to be really cool. Like carbon fiber filaments are already pretty cool. Yes, we're printing wood filament. Wood filament's so cool. I wish I still had a print of it. Yeah, Frank, I think you mean accelerate. Yeah, maybe that's it. There's something you can calibrate in Cura, and it helps align the times of your printer. Maybe it is acceleration. It's in there though. Frank, I will cover the camera, G. You recommend. So Alexa smart plugs, or they make. Hold on. Since my phone isn't doing anything now, it's called Smart Life. It's called Tekken Smart Life, and I have 4 Wi-Fi plugs. That actually we can do this, so you guys can kind of see this network unavailable. I know the network's unavailable. I made the network. Cool. So you can see 4 plugs there. See them? My screen's cracked, don't judge me, but literally I can press all 4 of these, and then what it does is it turns off my printer remotely. But if you do have something like that where you go and you remotely turn off your printer because you see a failed print, turn it back on immediately. Your print's going to stop, but then your fans will kick back on and actually cool down your nozzle. You don't want to just let your printer just shut off, and that's how you get a clog and or start a fire. So don't do that. Sorry, James, you're late. I'm just going to ban you. Actually, now that I'm here, hold on, let me do this. Now you're a moderator. Have you used any other beds? I've seen a couple other people's. All right, let's talk beds. I hate glass beds. I cannot get them to work. I ditched all my glass beds. I use magnetic or the metal bed that my Max came with. Sorry. Yeah, wood filament is pretty rough. Will you make a tutorial on making a mannequin? No, there's already great ones on the RPF. It's literally a stick figure with PVC pipe. No idea, Salvatore. I don't like Octoprint. The screen is cracked. I'm judging you. My whole phone's cracked. You guys want to see? I gotta order a new one. The whole back's cracked. I'm a basic white girl. Look, oh, you can see the chat. That's kind of cool, actually. Yeah, the back's cracked. The front's cracked. I gotta order a replacement. It just works, so I don't care. I see another shirt coming. Anton actually made a tutorial for that today. Dayton White. Cool. Hi, James. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you're a mod now. All right. The other part of this was explaining what got me into this hobby. And I don't know if you guys are still interested in that. It's totally up to you, but just literally like what brought me here, what hobbies I used to have that I feel prepped me for this, and maybe some other interesting fun facts. I don't know how much you guys like me or if you even care about that type of stuff. iPhone, yeah. I really hate my phone just works all the time and has absolutely no issues. It's the worst. Yeah, terrible. Terrible. Hate it. Yep. So, why am I here? Why do I feel like I can 3D print? And I think I can 3D print it. It's hot in my goddamn room. Hot. Probably gonna start seeing me sweating soon, sorry. Hold on. We're gonna try something, and I'm gonna turn a fan on, and if it gets too loud, if you guys can hear it, you'll hear it when I'm near the fan. But let's see. Let's see. Can you guys hear that fan, or can you hear me talking over it? Please let me know. You can see, I don't know if you can see the fan vibrating really bad back there. Okay. Okay. because if this is good. It's getting warm in here. The leather chair, the lights, yeah. It's causing feedback there. No. Just to be difficult. We can talk like this, and I can just continue the live stream like this, and this is what you guys will have to deal with. So back in 1991, I was born in a cabin. I need some more. I only got one person. Keep the fan. Okay, cool. Yeah, please. I can already feel it. It is on low. Darth Vader, Frank. Let's try this. Hold on. We got this. Well, that's max. Alright. Okay, that works. Yeah, no, it's much quieter. Listen, Remco, okay? We're hardwired, I'm plugged in. I don't want to talk about it. Alright. It's been rough. I just uploaded another video, by the way, so that'll be posting right after this, so you're welcome. Anyway, okay, cool. So growing up, dude should look into that NVIDIA RTX audio driver I was telling you about. Cut all about. I might have to. I'm not gonna say don't. I sound more like Bane than Darth Vader. You were merely raised by the darkness. Let the guy breathe. No. The temperature, right? Oh, I don't have my temperature sensor in the room anymore. It's like 70. Oh, I moved all my apps. There it is. And I'm on a Wi-Fi. Whatever. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, what got me into this hobby, and why do I think I actually what prepped me for this? Basically, I grew up as a nerd. I grew up as a real big. I was a closet nerd. The late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't the time for nerds yet. It wasn't, unfortunately. I don't know what it was. I just had no. I liked anime. I don't know why I got into it. I think it had a lot to do with Toonami and Dragon Ball Z and Gundam. You know, original Gundam Wing it was awesome. I fell in love with it, and the internet was just blossoming, and it was great. And I always liked building Legos. I grew up building Legos. I grew up taking things apart and trying to put them back together. I can kind of see why that phone broke. You shut up. All right, I want to make sure. Sorry, it was loud. Apologies. Okay, so yeah, I grew up with yeah, dude, Toonami, the Midnight Run, where they'd show Dragon Ball Z uncensored. There'd be a little bit more blood. I think Vegeta said shit one time, and it was always DBZ, Gundam, and then I would stop watching for Sailor Moon, or start watching for Sailor Moon. PC Wizard, why? Thank you. What? Thank you, dude. Wow, okay. Yeah. I will keep building. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. So anyway, yeah, Sailor Moon, and then I think at the time it was not Ronin Kenshin, it was Ronin Warriors. If anybody remembers that show was awesome. I think it was based off of not Knights of Sidonia, Knights of the Zodiac. I think it was. And yeah, I loved it. Yeah, thank you, dude. Yeah, thank you, PC Wizard. I appreciate that, man. Between a lot of things, between the reception of all of this, between the Patreon, between you guys using my discount code on DO3D, it's helping. It's helping a lot. Oh my god. So yeah, I've been able to pay 3D modelers to make some shit for me, and I'm very excited about some cool projects that are coming up. So stay tuned. Secrets. Remember my secret drawers down here? There's a lot more now. Ronin Warriors, yeah, dude. Ronin Warriors was the shit. Then it was Ronin Kenshin, and then it was Trigun, and then it was Yu Yu Hakusho, and there were just so many classics I grew up on. But something about Gundam, man. Not only could I watch the show, I'm going to. I want the secret I found out. I won't say it. I won't say this. Gee, just try that sentence again, dude. Yeah, Gundam was cool because like I could watch it. You know, it was a little bit incoherent sometimes. But like, then I could go to the store and buy these little models, you know, and build them. And like, I was like, this is so much cooler than Legos, you know. And you know, you play with them like action figures. I'd make like war battle scenes, or you know, they'd fight. And just I liked it. You know, my buddies liked it too. Found my own little group of friends, you know, who kind of like the same thing. And I just always liked building them. And then I think that slowly helped me move into like building and customizing cars. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was just good old fun building, and I just always liked making things. I took metal shop in high school. Any chance I got to make something or design something, and then I like excelled in like my high school senior physics class because we did a lot of hands-on projects. My teacher, Mrs. Andrews, it was her last year. She hit her tenure, or she was a teacher for years, so long. So like her last year of high school teaching, she just didn't give a shit. So she just let us have like free reign and just like all the things she always wanted to do, but she knew the school board wouldn't be like okay with. She was like, F it, let's do it. You know, we made some crazy projects. It was a lot of fun, and she was very instrumental in just like my fascination with physics and science and all that stuff. I'll get lost in Wikipedia pages and in research papers and just reading random facts. You can ask Mrs. Frankly Built in the chat. She can attest to the amount of random science knowledge I know for absolutely no reason other than just being able to make conversation, and I find it so interesting. It's awesome. How do you find the center of a helmet on Mesh Mixer, if you can shed some light on that? I don't know, I never had a problem centering the cut line. I don't know. Can we start a petition to make Frank live stream himself making a Lego? I will use the money. Somebody find me a cool Lego kit and I'll buy it. And don't you dare get like the $2,000 Millennium Falcon unless you want to pay for it. But if you buy me, I don't know, are there like Avengers and Marvel, or like, I had a really cool collector's edition X-Wing Lego model, like a full size, not full size, but it was a big ass X-Wing. The wings opened and closed. It had Lego Technic gears in it. This thing was beautiful. That was like my first big build of anything, and I think it's still in my mom's attic, or I might have stripped it down and given it to my nephew. Do I have a mosquito bite? Yes, I do. Cool. I will. Okay, so jumping a little bit ahead. This is a Gundam model for anybody who has never seen one. Now, I would live stream myself building a Gundam model. I would love to do that. Just hang out, live stream. That'd be pretty fun. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get back to that thing in a minute. Oh, I know. I didn't know knowing was a word until I saw it on Adam Savage's channel, and like I do that shit all the time. Like, I've all seen how organized all my crap is. It's incredible. Saturn 6 rocket kit, perhaps. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Can all of us tweet Frank's Adam Savage picture so he notices? I don't have enough Twitter followers yet. I'm trying. Gunpla is life. It is. Yeah, so I went through high school, and I didn't do too hot in high school. That's kind of why I'm in the military. So I didn't do too hot in high school. I did great in the areas I wanted to do great in. And if it didn't interest me, man, I just didn't give a shit. I failed some classes, I passed some others, and I graduated. You know, cool, awesome. Tried some odd jobs. I really liked working on cars. I really liked customizing cars, so I went to school in Daytona, Florida, to a place called Installers Institute, and it was like a $10,000 trade school. Damn, did it hurt trying to get that money together. Thank you, Mom, for helping me with that. And yeah. Went down there, learned a little bit of everything. Now, this was a really cool trade school because it let me dabble. It taught you basics of everything. We were kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. It taught you how to do remote starts and audio systems and wiring and like advanced audio systems. Not just like here's a head unit. It was like really like ohms and voltage and resistance and all that. Remote starts, car alarms, audio systems, and it taught me a little bit of fiberglassing. It taught me, I knew how to weld, but it taught me how to weld, how to paint, how to set up an air gun, how to put fabric and do all of this stuff to help you in like the car customization world. And then what you can do with that is afterwards, what did you like the most? You know, I like welding, but like I really like painting more. So you can take this little basket of goodies you now have, and you could pick one and go and get really good at that one, because now you know where to start. So it kind of preps you for that whole hobby, where few places do all of that. You know, it's very rare that you'll find a customization shop that does everything. You know, usually people outsource to a welder because they don't, you know, they're not that good, you know, or so that kind of wet my feet into that whole more professional. I don't know if it expires. I think it expires every 10 years, so I'm probably out of it. But I'm MESA and MECP certified. Maybe build the Lego Hulkbuster, then you can tell people you built the Hulkbuster. We're going to talk about that at the end of the stream, James. Please remind me. We're going to talk about a Hulkbuster, and yeah. Are we allowed to send links? Send links. I don't give a shit. Send links. The Michael Keaton Batmobile is so cool. It's 3,000 pieces. Uh-oh. Yeah, no. Hulk, don't worry about. Okay, so yeah. So I started working I worked at 2 shops in New Jersey, and they were cool. The first shop was a little bit more of a truck and off-road kind of shop. It was a little grungier. It was like the quintessential, you know, rugged, like dirty mechanic shop. There was no order. Everything was filthy. I did a lot. There was a lot of cool. I met a lot of cool people there. Then I got offered a job at a place called JC Motorsports in Galloway, New Jersey, and that place was fun. A lot of cool just a lot of customization stuff. But what started to kind of draw it out of me, unfortunately, was I slowly started to realize, after doing radio, remote start, wheels, tires, suspension, radio, remote start, radio, rhino lining, cool custom job, radio, remote start, radio, cool custom thing. It was very repetitive, and slowly I started to realize I don't actually like working on cars. I kind of just like working on my car. This sucks. So it was a nice waste of like $10,000. But it taught me a lot. You know, it paid off, and it's paid off. And yeah, so and there were some other things going on in my life that I needed a better job. It was good, it paid really well, but just I needed more stability. It wasn't under the table, but it was I needed like something with benefits and healthcare and all that, because I had just gotten engaged to, I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she might still be in the chat. I just got engaged, and we, you know, it was like, let's start a life. You know, I was 21, yeah, and I was 20 when I got engaged. We got married at 21, yeah. And my buddy was in the military. He was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in New Jersey too. Mike, thank you. If you ever see this, you probably won't. I don't think you follow me. And it was really cool. Yeah. Enlisted for one job. Went to basic training. I was naive. My recruiter lied to me. Shocker, shocker. If you ever want to know anything about the Air Force, message me. Don't talk to. Well, you're gonna have to talk to a recruiter, but I can tell you things. And while I was in basic, they sit you down when you're in Lackland, and I'm 29. I know I'm like a day past 48, and so they sit you down and they bring you into a room and they're like, this is going to be your job. You're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And you kind of go, some people know what job they're going to have, some people don't. It depends on how good your recruiter is at lying to you, and how naive you are. So, yeah, they sit me down, and this woman's flipping through my file. She's like, yeah, this is a real cool job, real special job, blah, blah. And she stops cold on one page. She's like, oh yeah, you actually have some traffic tickets, and you have a couple fines and citations for, yeah, you actually have too many. The job I wanted had a very specific criteria that if you had a little bit of any type of record, you couldn't get. My recruiter either didn't know or lied to me about it. Probably lied to me about it. And she sits me down, and she just like stops, and she's like, yeah, unfortunately you're not going to qualify for this job. And I started crying right there in the office, because I'm like 4 weeks into basic training, my head is shaved, I'm scared, I'm stressed, I haven't slept, I quit my job, about to have a wife, I'm just sitting there, I had a wife, sorry, we got married right before I enlisted, and I'm just like, like freaking out, and I like start tearing up because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to get out. I'm gonna find a job. Oh my god. And she like puts the paper down. She sees me like about to have a panic attack, and she looks up and she's like, "Oh no, sweetie, we're just gonna get you a new job. It's fine." And I'm just like, "Okay." Like, I freaked out, man. But she, yeah, I got to pick a whole new list of jobs, and I ended up with the job I'm in now, aerospace propulsion. So I fixed jet engines, which is really cool. Best freaking job ever. If you guys have seen me share some of the videos on Instagram, I love my job. It is so cool. I'm scratching my foot. Leave me alone. Yeah, it was fun. It was just such an interesting friggin' kind of experience. And sorry, I wanted to check the chat, make sure everything was still going. So I think you all were just listening to that story. Hopefully somebody found it funny, huh? So yeah, I go through basic, go through training, and then me and my wife were a little naive. We thought, oh, we're going to end up in the States. You know, we're going to end up somewhere in America doing American things. Day and White, that trade school, Installers Institute at the time was like $10,000. It was like $9,500 or something. Worth it. Totally worth it. Anyway, instead of getting stationed in McGuire or somewhere on the East Coast or someone and someone for, you know, somewhere in the U.S., we ended up getting stationed in Japan. We ended up getting stationed in Okinawa, Japan. And we were just like, okay, like that sounds cool. So we went to Japan for 4 years, and it was amazing. Oh my God. Go to Japan, experience that, go to Tokyo, just go. It was incredible. Like, the nicest people in the world, cleanest. Tokyo is the cleanest city I've ever been to in my life. It's disgusting how clean it is. You're like, there's something wrong here. Do you people eat? Like, amazing. The culture, the food, amazing. But being in Japan, you know, you start to get exposed to more weeb culture, you know, more Gundam and anime. So it turns out, outside of the base I was stationed at, there was a little model shop. And it was a Gundam model shop owned by this one dude. He was like 30-something years old. That's all he sold. Gundams, Zoids, kits, stuff like that. And I started getting really back into the hobby. And I started like making Gundams and customizing them. And I eventually started building them to sell them. And it was so much fun. I actually helped set up one of the first Comic-Cons that was held in Okinawa with another base, actually. There's a couple bases there. You can Google it. It's not like some secret information. We put on a big Comic-Con show there, and it's still going on every year, and it's awesome. It was so much fun. We would go to model shows. Like, I was in a little Gundam modeling club with a bunch of Japanese guys, and still someone like my absolute best friends. I talked to them on Facebook, and they were just like, they didn't care that I didn't speak any Japanese. They barely spoke English, but like when we would hang out and build models together, and they just let this random American kid show up to their model shows and display his stuff, and they were so receptive to it. And I just like Koji, I'm still friends with him on Facebook. Just such awesome people. Yeah, it was cool, and I just got really back into Gundam and stuff, and yeah, that's when then I started like making and customizing my own. And if you don't know what like Gundam model kits are, like all this moves, all of this, this all opens up and articulates. You can move pretty much everything on him. The legs move, the feet move. It's a full kit. This is like this one right here is my holy grail. If you ever watched Gundam Wing as a kid, and then you watched Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, and you thought that was the end of Gundam Wing, you would be wrong. There was a continuation manga called Frozen Teardrop, which is still going on, I believe. And yeah, like all these panels open. I love this thing. It's fun. Yeah, it's called Frozen Teardrop. Go watch it. It's really cool. Who do you work for? I work for the U.S. government. So what was the job you originally wanted? Stuff. I'm sorry, but if you ever become an actor, I want you to be the comic Wally West. If you were to do something now as a job, if you would ever do something new now as a job, what would be your idea? I wouldn't mind doing what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Literally what I do now is I help test the engines, which is just so much fun. I did not. I learned some Japanese. I learned enough Japanese to not be rude. Like, you can say, you can say arigato. You can, I've already forgot a lot of it, but like, you can say please, thank you, hello, goodbye. Like, the very basics. I wish I had learned more while I was there, but give you $5 for that Gundam, like, try like 300 or 400. Nice try though, guy. That thing took forever. There's probably about $100 worth of kit in it alone, because, yeah, there's a lot going on in that thing. I wish I had learned more, but everybody there spoke English. And if you didn't speak English, Google Translate was amazing. So I didn't need to learn Japanese. We are trying to go back. After our 4-year tour here, we are trying to go back to Japan for another 4 years, because it was that awesome. And I would absolutely go back there anytime. Hopefully the stars align for that. I'll be very happy. And yeah, so we did our 4 years there, and then it turns out we got to come to England. Yay us! My wife was so happy when she found. When I drove home to tell her, like, hey, I remember waking her up out of a dead sleep. She was taking a nap, and I remember waking her up and being like, hey babe, so we got Lake and Heath, and she's like, what? Like, just woke up out of a dead sleep. Yeah, Chris Robertson, like, that's just for the kit bash. That's not including anything else. I've had a perfect grade Banshee. I've had a perfect grade Unicorn, Strike Freedom. I still have a perfect grade Astray. Yeah. The perfect grade Banshee, I'll laugh at you with perfect grade Unicorn full armor with LEDs. Then talk to me. Are you planning on retiring? I have no idea. That's a future Frank problem. And future Frank hates past Frank. I like living in the UK. It's pretty cool. I'm out of liquid. Damn. If I go back to New Jersey, I cannot be stationed in New Jersey, actually. My job just wouldn't put me there ever. Will I be doing more podcasts? I don't know, maybe. You got me. The Neo Xeon isn't that expensive. It's like, what, $250, $300? Get out of here. Go buy a Mechanicore kit, Chris. I'm actually saving up for the Turf Strimer. The Mechanicore Turf Strimer. The big-ass Deep Striker that's like $900. That's goals right there. Whenever they do another re-release, because I'm not paying $1,200 for it. Yeah, so we ended up coming to England, and I don't even know what I was doing here in England up until I found this hobby. I really don't. I was working on my car, and I was always the Marvel fan, right? I've talked about that before. I've always been a Marvel nerd, and I loved it, you know? My dad got me into it, and it was just always cool to do. It was just always a fun hobby. Just follow the lore, and I got really into it. And then I'd seen Endgame, and I was just like, I want that suit. Like, look at it. Like, look at it. I know you can't see most of it, but like, look at the damn thing. It's awesome. And I'm like, and I've always wanted an Iron Man suit, right? I've always wanted, like, who didn't want an Iron Man suit? So, I started researching, like, I knew I had all these little skills. I just needed the base. I needed the suit. I knew I could do the electronics. I knew I could do the paint. I knew I could build this thing. I just didn't know how. And that's when I found 3D printing. I found it last July. Endgame came out, in April? And I just slept on the idea, and I watched it, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I gotta do this. And then I think in May, I started Papercraft. I tried to make a helmet. Nah, I can't do Papercraft. And Godspeed to anybody who can. Yeah, terrible. I think I'll save my money and invest in 3D printing my Gundams. 6-foot Perfect Strike, that'd be friggin' dope. The Mark 8000 was the most accurate and best comic suit next to the Mark 1 in terms of shape and design. It was very accurate. It is a very accurate suit. His suits in the comics aren't these big, bulky, hulking things, but the MCU needed to follow those in order to get to a place where it was believable. If they had just done Iron Man 1 and then suddenly he had like this nice slim fit suit, like it would have been like what? No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. PC Wizard, a lot of people do that. A lot of people try to convert Pepcure files into 3D objects. Unless you know what you're doing, it comes out terrible. There's a lot of files for Keyblades, actually. And I just, for some reason, always end up taking this thing off the wall, so let's do it this time. There's a lot of Keyblades on Thingiverse, right, that are converted PEP files, and they don't look good. They look kind of bad. So it gives you a good baseline, but there's still a lot of editing that needs to be done. This was a straight 3D make. Yep, that's a thing. I love Kingdom Hearts. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, give me $1? I don't know. Let's put that down. I can't put that back on the wall now. Yep. How tall is your mannequin? I made one that's like 7 feet high. Are you 7 feet tall? Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's why I got into the hobby. Just, you know, I knew I could do it. I knew I had, like, and that's why I was able to get, you know, pretty good paint results really early on. You know, it's plastic. Like, it's the same as Gundam models. Painting is painting is painting is painting. And if you know how to paint metal or cars, you can really easily convert that over into painting plastic. If you know how to build models and little Playmo and, you know, car models and model planes, painting is painting. And I do spray paint. As, you know, look, oh, hey guys, check it out. The colors to my Mark 85. Isn't that trippy? Like right there. Take a picture. Go and buy them at your local Home Depot. Oh wait, you can't. They don't sell them at Home Depot. It's only a UK line. That sucks. Sorry. But I use this as a base coat, and you can get this pretty much anywhere. Colonial Gloss Red. I do my whole suit. I do the red in this, and then I dust it with the metallic, and then it comes out looking like this. And it looks pretty good. I think so. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I knew I could kind of do all that type of stuff. God, this mosquito bite sucks. And I needed that base. I needed that starting point to actually get into the hobby and like, all right, let's do this. And as you guys can see, my first helmet was not that good. It wasn't. This is, you know, it's getting there, but it's huge. It is friggin' huge on me. Look at this thing. Very big helmet. Very big helmet. Look at this. So much room for activities. Ow. If you're not painting the inside of the helmet, you're missing out on some cool color contrast opportunities. But then, I got a little bit better at it. Can you guys hear me in this thing? Wow, I made the LEDs in this really bright. They are kicking at full speed. This is the rest of the live stream. I'll just wear the helmet and overheat. Let's see. Oh. Itchy nose, sorry. Where do you do all your models to print and how do you get them? Yeah, CG Trader, Thingiverse. You've touched on it a few times, but could you tell us? You've touched on it a few times, but you could tell us why you're so attached to that specific Iron Man suit. I remember you, some emotional connection. Kind of. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Yeah, do your masters here. David, if you have a Yagi 3D model, I'm willing to sell the Keyblade. I will buy it. For some reason, have you tried to make the helmet in TPU? You would never make a full helmet in TPU. That'd be better. That'd be terrible. It's really hot in this thing, guys. Nick, maybe you have to activate your Z-Hop. Some PLA brands just don't stick to the bill plate. Hairspray works wonders. I never had a good luck with Hairspray, actually. Cool. So, I just like the Mark 85. It's not so much an emotional connection. My hair gets in the way. It's not so much an emotional connection to the suit. See how nicely fit this friggin' helmet is? It's pretty good. This is 96%. This is the free Thingiverse helmet. Version 1. Don't print the version 2. Yep. The new positioning for the magnets works so friggin' well. Oh. So yeah, works much better. And it messes up my hairdo. Yeah. I feel, I don't want to say an emotional connection, but like, I really like Iron Man. My dad had gotten me into it. I'm a very big fan of it, and I saw it's just something about the Mark 85. Everything about it, I like it. It's a beefy, bulky looking suit. It's muscular, and I don't know. I'm happy about it. Dean Jam, whereabouts in the UK are you based? I am a little bit north of Cambridge. If you look up Bury St. Edmunds, I'm near there. Foam, yep. Full metal keyblade. That's pretty cool. Corona haircut? Yeah, Corona haircut. It's getting bad. I need a legitimate haircut. VA, Crotones, vinyl, Neo. What? Yeah. So if you guys want, we can go into a straight up Q&A now, because that's kind of hit my history. If anybody still wants to do a Q&A, we can still do a Q&A. If everybody wants me to just shut the hell up, we can shut the hell up, and I'm okay with either. It's totally up to you. Yep. Yep. I'm thirsty. Yeah. If you guys still haven't entered the contest, enter the contest, please. Try to win this helmet. I'm giving out this helmet. And anybody who is watching and wasn't in the Discord, I'm announcing the winner tomorrow, live here on YouTube. However, the helmet's not going to be ready. I ran into some pitfalls with some paint. I ran into some issues with LED eyes. I don't have any. I thought I had more. I don't. And all of the LED eyes I do have are very, very, very permanently glued. I tried ripping them out of my suits, my actual suit helmet. No luck. So it'll be finished soon. I'm waiting for the eyes to come in. I was going to try to reuse the eyes that I used last time, but I got super glue all over them because I was never planning on wearing this helmet. So the person will just have to wait a little bit for that item. And yeah, I'm sure the winner will understand. I don't think anybody's going to win and be like, what do you mean it's not ready? Like, it's free, dude. So, and I want to give you a good product. I don't want to rush this thing, and I want to be able to give you something like cool, you know, like a really nice display helmet that you can wear. Yeah. Tomorrow I will be, after the live stream, I'm going to be damaging it. I'm going to be doing all the weathering and stuff. I made a really, I nailed my my oil weathering. I finally found a nice concoction for like rust and stuff, like all back there. I love it. I love how it came out. I got all like rust and kind of like dirt and debris all up in here, and I love this helmet. This thing. I want to make more of these, but having some trouble with the LED eyes. The brackets are kind of in the wrong spot, but we're working on it. All right, questions. Holy shit. +1 for Gundam Lego build stream. Yes. Basically, Q&A. All right. How to enter? Go watch the video. Can somebody throw a link to the Discord in? My Discord's not open. So I'm the guy from the Discord who had the Bowden blowout out under new queues. I can't find a connector at the local hardware store. Can you? Yeah, Chris, you're not going to find 3D printing parts typically at hardware stores. You're going to need to order them off Amazon. Just search Creality Bowden coupler. Same as me waiting on eyes. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. In the description, hey, thanks, Astaroth. My mod's just doing it. Sorry, the one before that had a typo. Hey, so I'm new to 3D printing world and jumped in the CR6 and Wow, you got both of them? MJ Studio, like those are your first printers, the CR6 and CR Max? I don't know if I would have done that. There's going to be some bugs and troubleshooting with that, and finding support for that's going to be a little difficult. Is a clear coat meant to be applied very thin
coat or a thick one. It depends on the clear coat. If you're doing a matte coat, kind of thin, but the thicker you go with your clear coat, the deeper your shine will be, and then the stronger your paint protection will be. What's your favorite Iron Man version after the Mark 85? The Mark 39, I really love. I love the white suit. It looks great. That's why I'm making it. Oh, you just reminded me. Dr. Disinfectant, yes and no. I did find there'd be no way to make the eye light up. That'd be the only problem. It would just be a clear lens. So then we need to figure out a way to get something in front of it to project an LED to light the eye up. However, it still is worth looking into as a HUD. Yeah. So I had a question for you guys, and I wonder if this would be a really cool, fun project. What if, now, people have said, hey guys, hey man, make a Hulkbuster. When are you going to make a Hulkbuster? Hulkbuster, Hulk. I don't think it's so much people want me to make a Hulkbuster. I think it's people who want to see an 11-foot Iron Man suit. I think that's really what it is, right? People just want a big-ass Iron Man suit. Now, I don't know if I'd be the best person to do this. I don't know if I have the room for this. But there are a lot of people in the 3D printing community. There's a lot of people with 3D printers just on our Discord, which is awesome. What if we found a very, very good STL file for a Hulkbuster? An 11, not the cosplay wearable one from Nico that's human-sized, a full-size 11-foot statue Hulkbuster, a really nice-looking one. And what if you got 100-something people, 200 people, 300 people, and everybody printed one part and then sent it to me, or sent it to somebody. I don't know. Yeah, like, that'd make it a lot cheaper, because depending on the part separation, depending on how the parts are made, it would really just, everybody sends me the parts, and I make it. And your name gets put into the project. It is a crowdsourced project. It is not my Hulkbuster. It is our Hulkbuster. And I think it'd be a pretty cool video series. I don't know. It would be up to me to make the metal frame. Oh, sorry. Stop right there. I'm in. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Assuming the guy get the printer to work. Well, you guys seem to like that idea, so that's cool. It'd be hard. It'd be a little while, though. I still have to finish my Mark 85. I still have to finish my Star Boost. But this could be a really cool project after Star Boost. But if we could get the good 3D files, somebody could find a good 3D model for a Hulkbuster, just a statue, we could start theoretically whenever. The only prerequisite I would require is your print quality needs to be okay, because you guys are going to have to send them in to me primed. You can't paint them. I need to paint them, because if everybody's painting them different colors of red, it's going to look rough. Or do we make everybody paint it? Does everybody paint it a different red? You know, does everybody finish the part and I literally get it and plug it into the suit? Discuss. Then auction it for charity? Yeah. I wouldn't want to keep that thing. Gee, why would they be delicate? Like, this is, I can mail this, and why would I mail anything here? It wouldn't be delicate at all. Like, to be a part of it, that would be your contribution. You pay for, you print a part and send it to me. You know, that's it. You know, and then I take care of the rest. Patchwork sounds cool. I'd rather send a prime version, so if it's damaged in transport from Canada. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah.
I can't, so Philip James, I can't set paint codes because the paint I have access to in the UK might not be the paint you have access to. But then if you set a paint code, what that means, everybody needs to go and get custom colors mixed. That gets expensive. Huh. What if we did half? What if there was a way to do half the Hulkbuster? Okay? I don't have a thing. I need a thing. We'll use this. Okay. Statue, right? Nah, whatever. I can use my own friggin' body. Like for someone like sending a part halfway around the world, not worrying about the cost, but the transport damage for such a long transit is worrying. The Mark I Hulkbuster, I think it's more iconic. I think it's that is like, because the Mark II Hulkbuster from Infinity War was cool, but it just didn't have that impact. Like it fought in the Battle of Wakanda, but it never fought the Hulk. Hell, it was piloted by the Hulk. I think the Mark I Hulkbuster from Age of Ultron would be way cooler. IMO. As a side, everyone who doesn't have a printer and still wants to contribute can chip in for paint. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So what if it was half? What if instead of you in the UK, or Bruno Ibanez, instead of you printing a finger, you print both pointer fingers, and you send me in one primed and one painted signed by you. And then Astaroth, you print part of the forearm, but you print both forearms. Prime one, paint the other, sign it. So when we're done, we have a full Hulkbuster statue. One side is perfect. I paint it. It all matches. And then the other side is it's a work of art. It's everybody's signatures. It's everybody's own paint jobs of red and gold and gray signed. Would it sell for as much in charity though if it all wasn't one color though? Discuss. Okay, so Bruno, or Gecko, sorry. That would not be hard to keep track of because what we would need to do is we need the file. Find the file, find the model. All it would take is me or a couple people cutting it and slicing it up the best way possible. Now, what we could do is we'd have big parts. We'd have like the helmet. I'd really want to make the helmet in one shot. And the helmet I could fit on my CR10 Max. We chop it up into big pieces. We chop it up into small pieces. Fingers. If somebody only has an Annette 8, A8, or they have an Ender 3, but they want to contribute, print me one part of the finger. Like you can contribute. Like tiny parts, big parts. And all it takes is a Google Docs, and I list all I do is I list every friggin' part. That's it. The head, left bicep, left forearm, right forearm, blah, 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 blah. And I put the size requirement for that part. Now, I will send that part, you sign up and you want to make the forearm, but a Hulkbuster forearm, right? So it's big, okay? You want to make that part, so you put your name on it, but your print bed doesn't fit it. So I give you the model for the whole forearm, then you cut it up, you print it, you assemble it, and you finish it. Then you send it to me. Because I'm still going to get that forearm however you want to make it. Or you pick a smaller part that your print bed can handle. And you literally, if somebody's name's in that, they're making that part, that's it, done. You move on to the next part and whatever the hell it is. It'd actually be pretty easy. Yeah, I think paint and resources would be cool. There would be a lot of variation. There very much would be. But if you guys send me one kind of finished part, and then you send me one primed part, I can work with that. Now, there will be a disclaimer in there that it is all a donation. Like, you can't expect anything back. I will do my best to assemble this. If I get a part that is just unsavable, I'll either ask you to try to remake it, or we'll hand that off to somebody else. And there can be there's no refunds because I'm not paying any of you. You know, like there's gonna be a lot of rules like that. I think it could still sell for a lot share since it would be art, and then painting would be a creative choice. If one side is painted by everyone with a signature, it might not look as nice, but it does create the sense of wonder. So many people built a suit. I think we assign groups. Red team does left arm, blue team does teams. Maybe something like that. Yeah. What if you get multiples of one part? I post back up and ask somebody to fix it and make the other part. All right, David Ross, I don't care about that. I don't give a shit about that. I think it would be cool to make an 11 foot, okay? I'm 5'8". The blade of that Buster Sword is about 5.5 feet. It'd be taller than that. That Buster Sword on my head. I'd have to clear out some garage space. Yeah. I have a P.O. box. Kind of. I have to figure out the logistics of that. Because I'm not supposed to use it to send stuff out. But what about getting stuff I mean, people buy... no, you guys can all send it to me. It wouldn't matter. Because it's a P.O. box. And I buy stuff on Amazon all the time. Ooh. Slightly better idea with the paint. How high are my ceilings? 8-foot ceilings? Yeah, it's like an 8-foot ceiling, I think. DO3D would make those files. Now I could actually ask them to make that. Because you know what? That would be publicity for them. And they wouldn't be turned off to that idea. You could send the STL only to the person that says, yes, exactly. You won't get the STL unless you're approved and agreed to make it. Yes. Yeah, DO3D would sponsor the shit out of that. And then Creality would say they're going to sponsor it and then never answer my emails. So... okay, you know when DO3D releases a 3D file, somebody releases a 3D file, and it's blocky. It's usually what, purple. Oh God, I need to show this. You guys might get some feedback. I'm sorry. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on, folks. DO3D. Hey, if people are unreliable, their name doesn't get in on it. It's simple as that. I can't. That's it. We'll move on. Then the project will take as long as people dick me around for it, you know? Like, hold on. Where is it? That. Okay. So you know how when you see a 3D file, there you go. Like when DO3D releases a 3D file, it's all in this like polymorphic, multicolored, you know, like it just shows the part separation, right? Okay? What if half of the suit was like that? It was like a primed prototype of just multiple colors. And then the other side was a nice finished paint job. You know? What about people leaving? Maybe you can set up a sign-up form with somebody seeing the people to be interested. What if a primed part isn't really scratched? I'd be down to help with this. Hopefully one of the parts with electronics. I didn't even think about electronics. We're about to... Guys, I got 18 more minutes. We can't push this over 2 hours. But, yeah. Electronics is a good question. It would be a statue. It couldn't do anything else because I'm going to make I have a buddy down the street who really likes welding. We can weld up a metal frame. It can be stable, supported. It can't be animatronic, though. What I could do, though, is the helmet could lift up, and there could be a normal Mark 42 Iron Man, or not Mark 42. What's Age of Ultron? God, what's he rocking in Age of Ultron? Mark 43 or 44? Something like that. Yeah, it'd be lights. The statue would be lights. You know, maybe a couple sounds, but the helmet could lift up, and there could be a full-size normal Iron Man helmet in there. You know, that'd be kind of cool. The advanced version would be not only does the helmet open up, but the whole chest opens up and it's a full suit. Wait, like that's the second problem. Da, 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 da. Can't you make it fly? I can make it fly once. No, not what is the Hulkbuster. What is he wearing when he puts on the Hulkbuster? That's what I can't remember. Yeah, so like, exactly. So one side literally looks like a 3D render. It looks like look like that would let you see all the parts that went into it, you know? Because if each finger was if this was purple and yellow and white and blue, you could then look at the right hand, and oh my God, a person printed each one of those fingers, and then you see the nice finished hand on the other side, with the ones I painted, you know. So I think that would help you see the part separation in the suit itself. I don't know. I think there's something here, guys. I think there's something here. It'd be a lot. It'd be big. It'd be a big friggin' project. Yo, dog, I heard you like suits. So I got you a suit for your suit. Oh, God. I forgot I'm logged into my other... I don't know why I read that as something else. Yeah, so I'm going to start getting up a rough draft idea of this. We should definitely make a Discord channel for this to keep the discussion going. Yes, I think we should. If you aren't in the Discord, here, Discord plug. If you aren't in the Discord and you're interested in this project, join the goddamn Discord. It's free. There will definitely be some crowdsourcing. I will need money for paint. I will need money for metal. The electronics can probably be donated and figured out. I think the Hulkbuster has like 9 friggin' arc reactors around it. I think there's an arc reactor at each elbow, on the shoulders, the chest, the knee. Like, it's a big beefy suit. We are going to need 1.21 gigawatts to power it, maybe even plutonium. Good luck getting that in a classroom. It would take months and months, but if it worked out, it would be one of the best projects. It would. See, I don't think it would take months. I don't. I think if we got the right people, we got the right things in line, I think we can have all the parts for it in about a month. It's the cool. I think the coolest would be personal choice for painting. Make it wild as hell, and maybe also make each individual piece stand out when compared to the other side. That's why I think half and half would be good. One nice finished Hulkbuster on one side, and then the other side is pure artistic freedom. Yeah, so we're going to start wrapping this up, guys. It's 46. We've been on this for a while. Hi, Junior Diesel Gaming. I'm about to wrap this up. So, yeah, this is going to be the outro. We're going to keep talking about this. You can actually see that mosquito bite on my arm. Look at it, right there. Little guy. Yeah, right there. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is like, yeah, I like this idea. Because everybody wants to make a friggin' Hulkbuster. I think this is the best way to do it. Okay, so what I would also want you guys to do is record how much time it took you, start to finish. If you could record yourself doing it, even better. Record a time lapse of the part being printed. Record a video of you sanding it, painting it. How much filament did it use? What printer did you use? Like, I want all the details because I think that would be that much more. And send it to me. And I think, yeah, that'd be a really cool. That could be the next build series because I have the Mark 85 almost done. I swear it's almost done. And then we have the Mark 39, which is going to be my Arduino analog suit, or my Arduino programmed suit. And then a full-size Hulkbuster. I have about a little less than a year left in the UK. If I pick my ass up quick enough and get these suits done, we could probably start it and finish it while I'm still here. And that'd be so cool to ship when the movers come. Hey man, we're here to pack up your house. Oh hey, here's my futon, here's my desk, I have a Stormbreaker, there's the plates and dishes, and there's a Hulkbuster in the garage. Have fun. That'd be awesome. Oh no, someone made a Discord channel. This was great, super excited, wish I carried on in the moment. I love seeing the montage of everybody's parts. Yeah, I gotta draw some things up. I gotta get in touch with DO3D. Yeah. And if somebody, you know what? If somebody wanted to make the upper torso and part of the arms of the Mark 43 suit and send that to me, I would put that in the suit. I would make that work where it opened and you could see the Mark 43 inside of it. But that's a bonus. That's an extra sprinkles on top kind of thing. We need to still set up. There's a lot of logistics that we have here, but I think that's the next project. And if somebody else starts making this, I'm gonna come after them with a knife. Yep, it'll happen. There's the sneeze, guys. I told you it was coming. Yeah. So I want a tank for a car. Got a Hulkbuster instead. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you. Join the Discord. It's fun. If you want to support me in absolutely any way, more than this, I have a Patreon. There's a link down below or wherever you're seeing this video. Go look at it. I'm trying to get some cool things for it. If you're already part of my Patreon, thank you. I promise I have stuff coming. I'm trying to sort out so much crap. There's so much stuff to do for it to get things working. It's so annoying. I have shirts and merchandise coming. I found a cool website for that. You guys might have already seen the new logo for the channel. I like it. We're working on a bunch of other stuff. Yep. You could make a video like a year, Resro, 100. What did you just say? Did you get the picture of him sneezing? Yeah. Someone make memes out of it. Yeah. I hid. I ducked. I missed it. You go ahead, track back. I sneezed down here. You'll never catch me. So yeah, thank you guys. Again, live stream every Sunday for now, 8 p.m. London BST time. I have a lot of videos coming out. I'm going to be throttling back a little bit on posting and making videos because I need to finish my Mark 85. That is now priority one. I have the paint. I need to finish this suit. So you might not, it might be down to like 1 or 2 videos a week, which it is kind of now, but I need to focus more on this. When this helmet contest is over and all my helmets are sold, it's Mark 85 time. So yeah, spread the word. If you have people who are interested in 3D printing, interested in cosplay, and you like me for whatever reason, share my video. Go watch a video you've already watched. Put me on in the background. I don't know. I hope you like the channel. I like the channel. I like doing this stuff. Hopefully my next contest prize is an Iron Man helmet. Maybe it'll be something cooler. We'll see. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I really appreciate this. This was a lot of fun. I love interacting with you guys like this. And have a fantastic night. What are the last questions? I'm going to say 5 p.m. tomorrow is going to be the giveaway contest. Yeah, 5 p.m. We'll go 5 p.m. Hopefully I don't get stuff at work. There'll be stuff on my Instagram. I'll post something on YouTube. I got to post something on Twitter. And I didn't advertise this on TikTok, so screw them. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic, good, awesome night. You be awesome, San Diego.